Alrighty, so today we are going to be looking at the Overkill gaming PC kind of controversy. As of right now, they've been in a little bit of hot water due to a TikTok video that I'm going to get to in a second. Basically saying that the components for the PC cost this much, they charge this much. There's too much of a difference there. Like they're overpricing their PCs, and there's kind of a bit of truth to that. Granted, they do offer other services, so I'm going to try and get to the bottom of this, and you're going to be here for the ride. So it all started with this one 5 days ago. This guy, I already liked it, basically called them out on their starting computer being way too pricey for what the components were. Granted, most companies do this. They will charge a build fee that is like $100 to $200 to get it all built and shipped. But they were charging quite a bit more than that, assuming it was just the build fee, and that's about it. So we're gonna get into this.
How much does Overkill Computers actually charge for their starter PC?
Here is their website, $2,400 for their starter build.
Alrighty, so first off, I'm gonna say my PC costs, I think, somewhere from $1,500 to $1,800 when it's all said and done. Not the best PC. It costs less than this PC. And there's a few things that I think I might have a little bit better on them. They might have a little better on me, you know. But overall, this is definitely a true like kind of starter PC. You know, it's gonna run the games with little problems, you know, like little to no problems. And that's really all it is here for. I will say, if you're trying to get into PC or anything, I wouldn't buy a pre-built from any of these companies. I'm gonna say that much. If you can, if you know anybody who is good with PCs, or know anybody in the area or shops that could build a PC for you, I would do the research. I would buy the parts yourself, and then I would get either a friend or a company, local company, to build it for you. Normally, because you can customize it. This one is a cookie cutter, so they have all the parts picked out for you. Although they do custom requests, I believe, so you could buy the parts. But you really get to pick out what you want on your first PC. So if you give it like an hour or two of research, figuring out all the components that you want, it's definitely more beneficial. Because like, say this CPU is like, you want to downgrade a little bit because you don't have a huge budget, right? You can pick that out yourself. That's totally fine. And also, when you buy parts yourself, I built my PC over like 8 months. You know, like I saved up and I just bought it slowly over time. This is a one-time purchase. Granted, you could pay with a firm, but it's more beneficial, especially in a starter PC, kind of just to build it yourself, because it gives you the customizability of your budget, also your PC. And it also lets you learn. So if you do get a starter PC and the thought is, hey, one day I'd like a better PC, it kind of lets you learn what you're looking for when you do upgrade. So you're not just like blindsided and then you're like, oh, let me buy Overkill's $5,000 computer. That's a good upgrade, you know? So I definitely think build your own PC if you can. If you can't, get a friend, get a YouTube tutorial, get a shop, you know, order your own parts, because that is the best way to get into like actual PC gaming. And it's also very cost effective when you're buying parts and you're kind of looking at your own budget and you're like, oh, this GPU costs way too much as of right now. I'm gonna see if it can dip, and then maybe it does go down by like $50 or so. You're saving $50 down the line. So overall, buy the parts yourself. That's all I'm saying. If you know, like, oh, I don't have anyone that can build it or whatever, then yeah, look at one of these companies. But I definitely think these companies should be kind of a last resort, to where you're like, I don't have the time, I don't have the energy, blah blah blah. I do have the money though, so I'm just gonna give them a little extra money so they can get it to me. That's the only time I'd say to do this. Anyways, we're gonna keep going. Starter PCs at about $2,400 though, as it stands.
So $200 goes to the CPU. I'm going to add that up. Then we're going to get our motherboard, which is $150. And now we have an RTX 3060 for $423, a Kingston SSD for $41.99. It doesn't say if it's gold or bronze, so we went with gold for the more expensive, $64.99. Then same thing with the RAM, we went the more expensive Vengeance series to make sure. A P400, $49.99 for the hard drive. We're looking about $1,100. That's about a $1,300 build fee. Yikes.
Alrighty. So that was the first video that kind of sparked it. This one blew up, as you can see, like 350,000 likes, a little less than that, but a lot of comments, a lot of likes, and this got a lot of exposure. I did see one comment saying they don't think that they source their parts from Amazon, but I did see a different comment saying that businesses normally do get discounts, whether it's like 5%, blah blah blah. That adds up, you know. So like if they were to, like, they go to Nvidia, for example, like say they're partners with Nvidia's like, we'll give you 15% off of all the GPUs that you need, here you go. So even though people did say they probably don't get it from Amazon, they probably do actually get it for similar or even cheaper than what it is on Amazon, which I figured I'd just throw out there because for a consumer it's like you said, about $1,100. But if a company does get discounts on all their parts, even just the smallest discounts, that could be easily 1,000 like $900-ish. So we're just gonna go overview of their site. They actually upped the price of their PC since the controversy came out. Let's see, I think this is, yeah, this is the one they were looking at. There's a different video where he made a better PC for less money, which is also another thing. That's what I'm talking about, like customizability. You know, you figure out what parts you want, what ones you need. And yeah, overall, not great. There's other companies that do this. This one's just getting a lot of flack right now because, as I said, it blew up. But yeah, that's the starter PC. The cheapest PC you can get from this website that's ready to game is $2,600 right now. Meaning, the further we go down, I've checked these out before. It's about close to $8,000 for this one. Granted, looks pretty sick. I believe it's water cooled because there's the pipes there. And they don't even have a picture of this one. This one's Project Unknown. Yeah, I have no clue what this one's all about. $10,000 seems a little steep. I will say, again, if you're just getting into PCs, you don't know much about it, I'd say make your budget, even if you had like unlimited money, make a budget around $2,000 to like $5,000, because most stuff beyond that, average gamers are not going to surpass at all. Like even if you were streaming, all that, like you're not going to need the Project Rampage stealth. Like these ones are, like the name implies, overkill. Actually, most of these PCs they're really high end, really good, but say you're just like buying a PC because you want to play CSGO, Valorant, all that, you're not going to need this. This is going to be too much like performance. And granted, if you have the money and you want to buy it, go for it. But if you're really just getting into this, I'm not going to say buy from these guys, but these are the kind of PCs you're going to want. It's not like super low grade, but it gets you by, you know, because if you've never played PC before, also, you don't want to shell out a lot of money to something you may or may not like. You kind of want to get a taste for it. That's why I spent so little on my PC. I wanted to make something with the like bare minimum gaming specs, just to see if I enjoyed PC gaming, because I came from console. But yeah, anyways, customize your own PCs, get them built by friends, by yourself, YouTube tutorials, local shops, because as he said, $1,300 build fee is, I think they also do like warranties on parts and stuff, but still, that's probably at least a $500 profit that they're putting back into their pockets. Alrighty, and then this is his second video. He gets into basically saying it wasn't just to like throw Overkill under the bus, it was to show that there are better options, and then he shows a few better options or similar specs.
The truth is, they're a system integrator. They buy components from other manufacturers, and then they go ahead and put these together and charge you a fee, which is what
like I said, this is a pretty common practice. It just put it together for you, send it to you, might include like the warranty on it or whatever, so it does cost a little bit extra, but yeah, it's nothing too crazy. It definitely has a market right now, but yeah, that's all I have to say about that.
I do. The difference is what that fee was. I was just sharing what the cost of some of these components are, and you know what their price is. Now, as it stands, that 5600X 3060 build is $2,600. So first, let's look at Corsair. 5600X with a 3060 Ti, so you have an increased price with that graphics card. It's a better graphics card. You have an AIO, and you have a better case, in my personal opinion. But you have more storage, so obviously there's upgrades there. And this is $1,600. Here's the NZXT.
So the one you just mentioned, it has a lot of upgraded components, even just like slight upgrades, and It's about $1,000 less than they were charging because they upped the price by 200. Then he shows a few lower end PCs that do similar in performance wise. So he shows this one that's 1,300 and one that was even 1,000. Basically just saying it wasn't just to go after Overkill, but it was to go after like companies that are scalping for builds. And then Overkill on TikTok has been a little weird. People have been flooding their comment section, and basically their response is haters gonna hate. They even copy and pasted like the same comment, I think like 3 or 4 times when I was looking, and all the comments are like, haters are gonna hate, people are so salty, like we're giving quality content and products and stuff. But oh, there's a video on his page I want to go over.
The saga, I
Is
guess,
this one.
continues. Ex-employees have reached out. They do have NDAs, non-disclosure agreements. If you guys don't know what that means, it means the owner of that company is making people sign something so they can't talk about some of the internal workings of the computer company, which is a really big oddity because a lot of companies that use that are usually having something that's proprietary, some software, some hardware that's new, and they want to keep it within the business, but they're a system integrator, and that wouldn't make a lot of sense.
I will say, I think I had to sign an NDA for the job that I'm currently working at, and I work at a restaurant, just so I wouldn't give away like recipes and all that. So I don't see it being too far off the books of like somebody signing it, because if I'm signing for like a restaurant for just a recipe, there's probably something behind the scenes they don't want to see. So the NDA itself, a little weird, but not too crazy in my opinion.
So with these NDAs, I did find out a few different things that they could talk about. One being that he was a tyrannical owner and he really made this a hostile work environment.
That's what I've heard about a lot of these new up and coming companies, where they try and be like really down to earth with the people, you know, giving the people what they want. The owner is always a psychopath. And I don't know why. I think this is like the 3rd company, not just like PC related, but just where they're like, oh yeah, this is such a cool company, we love everyone, and then like people who work for them are like, yeah, this guy is a psychopath, this guy, as this guy said, very tyrannical.
In addition to that, a lot of those ex-employees were super stoked that I was making videos and bringing light to the situation.
I will say, when you got ex-employees, granted some of them could have been fired, they have bones to pick, whatever, it sounds like there's more than just like 2 or 3 though. It sounds like people who have worked there for a while. It's not a good sign when they're all like, yeah bro, expose them, you know. So that if he gave a number, if he was like 20 people reached out to me, I would be like, yeah, that's a bad company. So I don't know the exact number, but granted, if it is more than 5 reached out saying thanks for like making a video on this and how bad it is to work here, it's probably not the best company.
In addition to the employees, some creators reached out telling me that Overkill did not hold up the end of their bargain. So I don't know exactly what that means. I'm still getting some details from verified creators.
Alrighty, this is another thing. They partner with verified creators. I know. Oh, there was a different PC company I know that went under because they faked a giveaway. I saw a video by Penguin Zero on that. I don't remember what exactly the company was, but basically they were doing a giveaway, and then basically the person didn't have much of a following because it was for streamers and stuff, and they had like less than 500, so they were like, yeah, it's not going to bring any business to us. They just took back on their offer. So I could definitely see a company doing something kind of similar like that, where they're just like, verified creators, we're going to do a giveaway, and they don't like the outcome of the giveaway and they just take it back.
But apparently Overkill didn't do what they said they were going to do. Ex-employees and creators are not the only ones reaching out. A lot of you guys are sharing your experience, whether that's being a customer or just via online. And when it comes to social media, a lot of you guys have been blocked, all of your comments deleted, and because of all of the influx of comments, they have actually deleted their most recent videos. I think it's 3 total. And the reason I think they did this is because they couldn't keep up with the comments, and older videos tend to show the older comments first, so it's a lot harder for them to be seen. Stay tuned, we're getting more information about.
Alrighty, I will say, no matter if you're right or wrong, if you start playing the defensive as deleting comments, blocking people, unless they're saying like hateful things, obviously, but if they're just like, your PCs are overpriced or something, and then you get blocked for that, that is like a sign of just a bad company, because I feel like most companies will just take it. Like if somebody used to say Nike makes really bad shoes, they wouldn't just like block you for that, you know. And I'm not saying they're a bad company because they're just blocking people who like left bad comments, but it's kind of like if you were to go on Amazon and you bought something, right, and it had like 3 good reviews, but it had like 50 negative reviews, but all those negative ones were removed, you know? It's like, yeah, you're highlighting the good stuff and taking out the bad stuff. So it's a little scummy to do that. I will say, to everyone working, I've seen videos by these guys before, to everyone that works on these videos, they seem like they have like good energy, fun times, all that extra stuff. Could be entirely wrong, they could be miserable, but they make decent content.
Do gaming PCs.
I'm not gonna watch this one, but this is the one, copy and pasted. Yeah, this is the one. I think they copy and pasted this like twice is what I saw. They may have deleted the copy and paste, low-key. I saw it like back to back to back on hate comments. That has 4 gigabytes of RAM and it's very slow. Fortnite player, yeah. I mean, you look at the comments, most of them are negative. Some people are like, give me free stuff. But overall, they're in hot water right now. Not for like a good or a bad reason per se. I think that's just what companies do. They want you to pay more. They want their profit margin to be larger than other companies, but at the same time, it's not a very good consumer experience when you're paying that much extra. I want to see merchandise. This tells me all I need to know. $36 for this. Oh man. Water-cooled heart stickers. Okay. Basically, I'm not too sure if they do offer warranties on their parts. Assuming they do, then it's probably not that bad because they do have to insure basically all the PCs that they build for probably 6 months to 2 years. But assuming they don't do that, because I'm not seeing anything off that, granted I've glimpsed at the page for about 2 seconds. If they don't do any of that, then yeah, they're profiting at least $500 into their pockets, which is like great for the company, really bad for the consumers. As I've stated earlier, just buy your own parts, get one of your homies to hook it up, or even there's a lot of YouTube tutorials to help you build PCs at this day and age, because that's where it's going. PC gaming is kind of just growing, so there's a lot of information out there that could help you. And like I said, it's your time frame and your budget. So if you want to build a PC over a year or with like $2,000, go for it. You want to build a $10,000 PC for whatever reason over like 6 months, go for it. You know, it's just one of those things where I think it's better to leave it up to you than up to like a company that will make you pay a little bit extra. That's just how I see it. Let me know in the comments what you're thinking about Overkill, if it is more of a scam company where they're just profiting too much, or if you think it's reasonable. If you think $2,600 for their PC is reasonable, let me know. That's going to be about it for the day. Thanks for watching.